Hello and welcome to the Catch of the Day in the VDMA TV Pavilion at K 2016. We want to show how Industry 4.0 is working for you, and therefore we are having a closer look at the plastic products that were produced with Industry 4.0 technologies. I'm Ina Fettkötter, and with me today is Dr. Torsten Schmitz from Windmöller Hölscher. Hello, Herr Schmitz. Nice to have you here.
Thank you for inviting us.
You've brought that roll. That is your catch of the day. And, I can see a QR code here. So it's a smart roll.
Yeah, we call this a smart roll. And what makes this roll smart is that the QR code provides the roll with a unique identification. And this identification allows us to accumulate data over its whole lifetime, from production through the laboratory up to the final application. And that's what makes the roll smart.
Okay, thank you. As far as I remember, the blown film industry is a commodity market. So what was the reason for you to develop this smart roll?
Yeah, you're right. The stretch film industry is really more or less a commodity market. And there is a huge disconnect in this market between those who make the rolls, the converters, and those who are using the rolls, because this is mainly being distributed. So between what happens to the roll and what's relevant for production, there is a disconnect. And with this smart ID, we were trying to have a transparency over the whole process chain to get this connection done. And this is so relevant because more and more people are today looking into load stability, because we know that about 4% of all goods that are transported in sea and on the road are being damaged, and this product damage needs to be prevented. So in the end, what you need for the application for stretch wrapping is a consistent film quality. You want to have every reel that comes off your machine should have the same properties. But our customers didn't really have so far a means to assure that this quality is being granted. And that's where we came in and developed this system.
Yeah, sounds very interesting. How or would you describe the complete system? Could you tell us a bit more about the connections between the several components?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
So what customers do today, they set up a process, and then they take the roll to the lab. It gets checked. And then when the process is running, maybe every 4 hours they take one roll and make a sample. But that only sums up to 0.03% of all film that leaves the facility being tested, and that's not enough. So basically what we did is we invented an inline quality monitoring system that scans basically the whole web and gives an indication of the final properties of the film. And that's where Industry 4.0 became very vital for us for this system, because when you want to monitor the process, you need to define a process window. But in our case, we weren't even aware how big can the process window be because of this disconnect. And that's where we said, okay, if we want to learn more about this process window in the monitoring process, we have to identify each individual roll, and then we have to connect what we measure in the lab to our production process. And that was the first step. To say, okay, within your facility, every roll is identified in the lab, the data goes back to the machine, and then our process model here and our process window can be calibrated. But then the next step came very quickly, because many of our customers who do lab analysis are not really sure what does the lab result tell them about the performance on the wrapper. And then we said, okay, now we have this label, why don't we connect also to the wrapper technology? Because those guys, they are doing a lot of data capture themselves on their wrappers. So there is data available about how the roll performs, but this data is not accessible today. So what we did is we made a link to those guys in a case study, and then we had sent some roll to the US. They identified it with our system. They wrapped 20 pallets, and we now have the feedback from the wrapper into our machine. So that's where we can start learning about how how the roll really performs in the application, and this has a tremendous impact on the quality that our customer can produce and also on their business model.
Yeah, that can clearly be seen. If you should summarize the benefit for your customers, what would you say are the main points to have it here in a nutshell?
The main point is that our customers can now move from basically selling 1 kilo of film to their customer up to a business model where they can say, dear customer, I want to guarantee you that with this roll you can wrap 50 pallets. Or for a different customer who has different needs, you can say, dear customer, I'm promising you 0 breaks within 100 rolls that you process from me. And by having this full transparency, he can even track it. So basically, they can start using completely different process models where the producers invoice the wrappers not about a kilo of film, but about the performance and numbers of pallets wrapped. So the full transparency gives the chance to convert this industry into an industry with true value in the process chain.
So sounds wonderful. I think your customers will like it, and I think everyone who wants to go into detail here can visit you here at your booth at K.
Yeah, absolutely, because this sounds like a lot of theory. That's what we found when we're discussing that. That's why we set up the whole process on our booth. So we have a scanner, we can scan the roll, and we can retrieve the data and then discuss in detail what could be the benefits.
Very good. Thank you very much, Mr. Schmitz, for being here.
Thank you for the invitation.
That was our catch of the day in the VDMA TV Pavilion at K 2016. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.